What's up, folks, and welcome back to Dyce Reacts, where we are staying in London, England tonight. Oh yeah, we are going to be checking out 10 oldest cities in the UK. Our side checks one out. We ain't going to waste no more time. Just going to get right into it, folks. We're going to get right into it. Oh yeah.
Before I dive into the list though, I should explain briefly what constitutes a city in the UK. In short, there are two kinds: those with an Anglican cathedral, which alone qualifies them by ancient prescriptive right, and those who were granted city status following an application. The latter kind came about during Queen Victoria's reign, where many industrial towns became cities. But we're here to focus on the former, specifically those whose founding date is unknown, mostly on account of the poor record keeping of the Saxons. For perspective, the oldest UK city with a definitive date is believed to be Durham, founded in AD 995, assuming the records of the time are accurate. So the 10 oldest cities, in order from north to south, rather than chronological order, as that part is unknown, are as follows. Number 1. Originally a Roman settlement founded in AD 71, under the name Eboracum, the city of York is situated at the confluence of the River Ouse and River Foss, and it became a suitable outpost at which the Romans could suppress the local tribe, the Brigantes. In the 4th century, Emperor Constantine the Great was declared Roman Emperor in York, and he became the first to allow Christians to worship freely, and by the year 314, Eboracum had its first bishop. In the 7th century, the Saxons came and named it Eoforwic, with the wic suffix suggesting that it was a trading centre. In 601, Pope Gregory sent a mission to convert the British to Christianity. He selected York to be the church's centre in the north. In 735, York became an archbishopric. In AD 866, the Danish Vikings conquered Eoforwic and put their own Scandinavian spin on it, naming it Jorvik, and made it their effective capital in the British Isles. Its iconic cathedral, York Minster, or to give it its official name, the Cathedral and Metropolitical Church of St. Peter in York, was consecrated in 1472 on the site of an old Saxon church believed to date from the 7th century, which in turn was on the site of the old Roman Basilica. This is of course the seat of the Archbishop of York. Number 2. In the 6th century, St. Diniol founded a monastery in a settlement in the area we now refer to as North Wales. This became known as Bangor, meaning wattled enclosure in Old Welsh. Diniol became the first bishop of Bangor in the Kingdom of Gwynedd. On the site of the original monastery is Bangor Cathedral, which was built in the 12th and 13th centuries. Restorations took place over the centuries following various attacks, including one instance when King John destroyed it during a raid on Gwynedd. Bangor is the oldest city in Wales, or to put it another way, the oldest city in the UK outside of England. Number 3. In the 7th century, St. Chad, Bishop of Mercia, declared this city his bishop's seat. The settlement was Lichfield, and it became the focal point of Christianity in the Kingdom of Mercia. Following Chad's death in 672, Lichfield became a place of pilgrimage. A Saxon church was built, which became his resting place. In the same spot, the Normans built a new cathedral.
This is so interesting. I'm not trying to disturb it too much. I'm just listening. And the image is right there. It just reminds me of those movies. It gives me chills. Because sometimes you think that it's not an actual place that's in the movie. It just makes you wonder. Like you actually looking in the past, looking at those images there, man.
Present cathedral began in 1195, featuring the UK's only medieval triple spire. Number 4. Very little is known about the Roman history of this city, but the Saxon settlers discovered a fort here and named it Weagorna Sestra, though the meaning of Weagorna is unclear. Nevertheless, the name evolved to Worcester. In the 7th century, the first cathedral at Worcester was built, which became the seat of the Bishop of the Whickers, Wicker was a tribal kingdom existing from the 6th to the 8th century, situated around the area equating approximately to parts of Worcestershire, Warwickshire and Gloucestershire of today. Worcester was its capital. With the Viking invasion and subsequent establishment of the Danelaw in the 9th century, Worcester became a burh, i.e. a fortified settlement, as part of a move by King Ethelred and his wife Ethelfled to solidify the kingdom of Mercia against the Danish threat to the east. From the late 11th to the 16th century, a second cathedral was built in Worcester in a range of architectural styles from Norman to Perpendicular Gothic. Number 5. In the 7th century, Bishop Putter became the first bishop of this city and is believed to have been responsible for the construction of the first cathedral here. The city is Hereford. The name Hereford is believed to derive from Old English for army river crossing. It was a frontier settlement which saw various conflicts between the Anglo-Saxons and not only the native Welsh but the Danes as well. In 1079, the Normans began the construction of the current Hereford Cathedral on the site of its Saxon predecessor. Work continued into the 13th century. Number 6. Now, here's where things get a bit technical. In the eyes of the law, the City of London, with emphasis on the city, refers to the approximate area the Romans inhabited from the 1st century AD, also called the square mile. This is actually both a city and a ceremonial county in its own right, and an enclave surrounded by the ceremonial county of Greater London. In the 9th century, Alfred the Great is believed to have come across the old Roman fortifications and turned it into a Saxon fortified settlement that could better withstand Viking attacks than the previous base, believed to be around the Covent Garden area, with 2 street names of today providing clues, as in Old English, Strand means beach and Aldwych means old trading centre. Following the establishment of the Archdiocese of Canterbury, a cathedral was constructed in London in the 7th century and was dedicated to St Paul. This has gone through various iterations up to the present structure designed by Christopher Wren in the aftermath of the Great Fire of 1666. Number 7. Before the Romans came, this area was home to a tribe known as the Cantiaci, from which the name of both the city and its county, Kent, derive. The city, of course, being Canterbury. After the Claudian invasion of AD 43, the Romans established a military base which they called Duravernum Cantiacorum. This became the principal trading centre for the surrounding area. Around AD 270, defensive walls were put in place, which remain in place to this day, albeit with various reworkings. In the 6th century, the Jutes established the Kingdom of Kent, with Canterbury becoming its capital. In AD 597, St Augustine arrived in England on a mission to convert its inhabitants to Christianity. In doing so, Augustine became the first Archbishop of Canterbury. By the 9th century, it was firmly established as the centre of the English Church. This did, however, mark it out as a target for the Danish Vikings across multiple generations. In 1011, Canterbury Cathedral was burnt following the capture of Archbishop Althege. The cathedral was rebuilt and subsequently burnt on 2 more occasions before being built in stone. It was the site of the martyrdom of Thomas Becket in 1170 by the Knights of Henry II, and subsequently became a place of pilgrimage. Number 8. England's smallest city is also among its oldest, named after the wells in the grounds of the Bishop's Palace and the cathedral. The city of Wells is believed to have originally...
I mean, I love history regardless of where it's from, but this kind of history is so intriguing. When the architecture of a country can really pull you back in times past and make you question everything as to how life is now and what is going on now. It's so mind-boggling, man. Like, just the contrast, what was and what is.
as a small Roman settlement. In the early 8th century, King Ine of Wessex chose Wells as the site of a minster church. By the early 10th century, the Diocese of Wells had been founded by King Edward the Elder. this diocese moved to Bath in the Norman period, but as a compromise, a joint diocese was later set up between the two, but officially returned exclusively to Wells in the 13th century, several decades after the construction had begun on Wells Cathedral.
This is huge, man.
Number 9. The first inhabitants of this city are believed to be the Belgae tribe. The Romans arrived here shortly after the Claudian invasion of AD 43 and established their own settlement, which they called Venta Belgarum. The meaning of Venta is uncertain, but believed to be a Brythonic word for market. When the Saxons discovered the abandoned Roman settlement, they named it Venta Casta, meaning Fort of Venta, which evolved into Winchester. In the 7th century, a church was built here, and in AD 676 the Bishop of Wessex moved his seat to Winchester, effectively making it a cathedral. The Normans would later demolish this in the late 11th century and begin to build in its place the present Winchester Cathedral, although work continued until the 16th century. In AD 871, Alfred the Great was crowned King of Wessex and established Winchester as its capital. When England became united as a single kingdom in the 10th century, Winchester remained the capital until the 12th century.
What's that right there? It kind of scared me for a bit there, the boots hanging over the... Wow. I guess this is a shoe store of some sort. An antique shoe store. What is it, guys? Hit me up in the comments.
Number 10. In the 1st century AD, the Romans ventured into an area of the southwestern British Isles, where they founded Isca Dumnoniorum, a name which references the Dumnoni tribe who predated the Romans, and to whom the county Devon is named after. The city was, of course, Exeter, and was situated at the southwestern terminus of the ancient Roman road known as the Fosse Way. In the 7th century, the Saxons settled in the ruins of the abandoned Roman settlement, which they named Escancester, whose name evolved to Exeter. Having been subject to various Viking attacks, it was fortified in the 10th century by King Athelstan. In the year 1003, disaster struck as the Vikings plundered the city after they were let in through the gates. Although more or less reduced to rubble, Exeter recovered, and by 1050, Exeter Cathedral was founded. From the early 12th century, it was rebuilt by the Normans. And those are the 10 oldest cities in the United Kingdom as it pertains to city status, and to reiterate, in no particular chronological order, as their dates of foundation will remain a mystery.
He's talking and only thinking about the medieval times. In so many movies, cartoons, anime speak about the medieval times, and those images with those cathedrals and the buildings, I'm just looking into times past and I can't help but think of just that. And I'm also thinking about the Count of Monte Cristo. Yeah, this is my favorite movie. I have to look at this film at least once a year. I haven't looked at it this year as yet, so it's definitely coming up. I gotta view it. After this video there, I gotta view it, man. Definitely. I just love that kind of history. You realize those places are actually true. They exist, not just in a film, not just in a movie. Because you just think everything in a movie is just was built as a set for a movie. But you overlook that there are actual places, especially when it comes to that kind of history from the United Kingdom. If you want to see that long journal article that I do, hit me up on Dyce Reacts, where the music reactions. This is where I'm going to be making my exit. Until next time, peace out.